Its goal is to improve the administration of justice and to help to afford equal justice to all the citizens of the Commonwealth.
The opportunity for service is really what I think the Mass Bar Foundation is all about. And it gives every lawyer who becomes a member a chance to really do something important.
Not just large law firms, small law firms, solo practitioners, government lawyers, pro bono lawyers, volunteers, law students, people who believe in the legal system, who believe that everybody has a right to have their legal needs met.
The Mass Bar Foundation is a very easy way to do that, because the lawyer can become involved with the Bar Foundation and could either contribute monetarily or perhaps can give of his or her time or talent.
It was what I thought being a lawyer would entail, representing people and fighting for rights.
The Massachusetts Bar Foundation makes things happen that should.
The Massachusetts Bar Foundation has a long history of making things happen. Founded in 1964, the charitable partner of the Massachusetts Bar Association, it represents the commitment of lawyers and judges across the state. A collective conscience, helping to solve the legal problems of the people and working to overcome the barriers that stand in the way of what our Constitution promises. The Mass Bar Foundation is making a difference. Imagine being arrested, tortured, and forced to flee from your own country just for speaking out politically against the government.
I feared for my life. Lots of circumstances happened. I was arrested a number of times. I was treated in a very, very cruel way in many ways because of my political opinions. And thus, I decided to leave Uganda, for a hopeful life and, to discover myself. And when I reached America, I achieved that hope of freedom.
Jude found strength in his faith and help from the PAIR Project and the Boston law firm of Ropes and Gray to apply for political asylum in the United States.
Our job was to put Jude's story into a coherent narrative, to put his declaration statement together, to tell his story in the most compelling way possible.
We knew that Jude had a very strong case, and we knew he had a really compelling story, but until you get that news that asylum has been granted, you don't want to jinx it.
Honestly, I don't know what to say, but they're so dedicated, they're so hardworking, and they're committed to their service to the community.
PAIR has over 500 active pro bono attorneys right now, and over the course of our 20-year history, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary, we have recruited and trained over 1,000 pro bono attorneys. And most of those people are not immigration attorneys. They might be tax lawyers, patent lawyers in the corporate department, litigators, people with any type of background, but find tremendous rewards in doing the work.
And the resources that they've been able to provide along with Ropes and Gray have enabled even junior attorneys like myself to take on cases like this and really make a difference in people's lives.
Without the Massachusetts Bar Foundation, PAIR probably wouldn't exist at all.
It was founded with one doctor's vision at Boston Medical Center. Dr. Barry Zuckerman, a pediatrician, was frustrated with his young patients failing to make clinical progress due to adverse effects of poverty.
It's important not only to look at what the biological causes of poor health might be, but also things like housing or lack of special education that have an impact on children's growth and development or elders' ability to age in place.
The stories are heartbreaking. Children suffering recurrent rashes from rat-infested low-income housing. The elderly forced to choose between buying prescription medicine or heat. A person with asthma unable to breathe after returning to a mold-infested home.
These are the sorts of things that once a physician or nurse or social worker has screened the patient and seen a flag go up that there might be a social issue that we could address to help the patient and determine in fact whether there's something we can do to help this family get an improved individualized education plan, get some issues with housing resolved, whether it's an infestation or rent that hasn't been calculated properly, or help someone keep their lights and heat on.
The medical legal partnership started with one part-time attorney and evolved into a robust team of lawyers, paralegals, and pediatricians, now serving hundreds of patient families. So successful is the program that it has gone national based on the Boston prototype.
Now we're serving 6 community health centers in the Boston area, and it's thanks to the investment and the cultivation that Mass Bar Foundation devoted to our program.
The Rosie D. class action case took the state to task on behalf of children who suffer from emotional, behavioral, and psychiatric disorders. Many of these children were hospitalized in locked psychiatric wards or detained in residential facilities because the state failed to develop and fund services to treat them at home or in their communities as required by law. Instead, for many, their childhood was stolen.
Grandparents and parents who, when their child was having a behavioral health crisis, had no choice either to call the police or 911 and further traumatize their child, see their child strapped to a gurney and taken away screaming in an ambulance, or to put them in a car and drive them half an hour to a DMH crisis center and then wait hours for admission to an ER or in another hospital setting. So that really provided all of us with a clear sense of how the system needed to change.
So when we were inspired by those moms and grandmothers who, all of whom were poor, all of them had limited opportunities, limited education, and certainly limited resources, no insurance. And those stories made this case. It gave us both the courage and the determination to undertake this effort, but it also gave us the energy and the commitment and the passion to see it through.
The class action lawsuit was filed in 2001 with 9 plaintiffs aged 5 to 16, a trial in 2006, federal court decision in 2008, and services finally began for children and their families in 2009.
It was so clear that the moms' stories, the moms that we had been representing for a while with the help of the Mass Bar Foundation, made all the difference. Not one of the 18 experts who testified for us, who were terrific, impressed the judge the way the 4 mothers did. And to this day, we just had a hearing yesterday, the judge cites, I remember that mother who talked about her child who also had a diagnosis of autism. Is he going to be helped by these services that are starting next month, the judge asked?
I think that's allowed me from 2 different perspectives to realize the import of what we're doing and how important it is that we stay the course to try to make sure that these services really are everything that we hope they can be for families.
For me personally, this is a journey of hard work, of aspirations, of dreams, and of enormous fulfillment.
It's a job where every day is filled with thinking about the potential, thinking about how you can take justice and equality and take them down from being a lofty ideal to an everyday reality for as many people as we possibly can.
The Mass Bar Foundation provides millions of dollars in grants, typically reaching over 86,000 people each year. In its best year, the foundation was able to award $6 million to legal services providers and programs across the state.
That $6 million is coming from people like myself, who are lawyers, and from people who are non-lawyers, who have donated money to the foundation for that particular purpose.
And the wonderful thing is that they can decide at one time in their career that they want to do just the check writing, and at another time in their career that they really want to be hands-on, and they can go back and forth as their own life and schedule dictates.
It's all about serving people in the long run. The huge number of people whose lives the foundation manages to affect and improve.
It's hard to find work that's more meaningful. You know that your skills as a lawyer are being tested, that you really are putting your legal skills to work in a way that you can be immensely proud of, and your clients will stay with you really for the rest of your life.
You'd really be amazed with what an innovative nonprofit organization can do with a very small amount of money. It's just, that's a very inspiring part of working with the Mass Bar Foundation.
By raising and distributing funds, the foundation strengthens the state legal safety net by providing civil legal services to indigent clients across the state.
We've got more and more poor people and needy people and those that are living on the margin that need legal help. The courts are also suffering from dramatic financial reversals. So you put all those things together and you've got just a perfect storm where there's a tremendous need for public service and pro bono and efforts by the Bar Foundation.
The Mass Bar Foundation, ensuring that the state's most vulnerable citizens have the ability to challenge injustice and let their voices be heard. In the words of one of Massachusetts' most famous lawyers,
"Few will have the greatness to bend history, but each of us can work to change a small portion of the event, and in the total, all of these acts will be written in the history of this generation."